đối với EVOS. Nếu như họ để thua trước lại Cerberus thì Cerberus sẽ chiếm lấy vị trí của họ và EVOS sẽ rớt xuống nhóm hai đội đứng cuối VCS.
Còn trong đấy với Cerberus họ mới chỉ có duy nhất một trận thắng ở giai đoạn lượt đi này.
Welcome back everyone to the second series of the night. We have Cerberus against EVOS after probably the biggest upset so far this season. Happened right in front of our eyes after we beat DBL in very convincing 2-0 fashion. My name is Yuwei and I'm here with you as always. Sadly, right now Everyday is still fighting against his very bad Australian internet, but he will be joining us as soon as he can. And until then, let's look at the rosters first. No way. Oh, there he is already. And there we are again. Everyday finally able to beat his Australian internet and joining us. Welcome back, Everyday.
Welcome. Thank you for the welcome. It is by far the hardest boss I've ever had to face, is Australian internet. But we are back for Cerberus vs EVOS. Can't wait.
Interesting.
A little bit of a bottom of the table clash, hey?
No way back in as an ADC this time, not playing support. And on the other side we have LL starting over YT, which is a little bit of a surprise, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, alphabetically, LL does come first, so I guess he's the starter, right?
Yeah, that's...
I mean, that's about as much sense as the rest of Cerberus makes.
I mean,
right?
that makes sense because Coyote is starting as well, and he's starting with C, so I guess Coyote over Mias, based on alphabetical order.
Yep. Looking at the bans, pretty interesting that there's a Tahm Kench ban immediately. RodOP has been pretty good on that though, so a little bit of a target ban there. So. Interesting. Not 100% sure how I feel about it. Tahm Kench not crazy strong on 913. He's not weak by any means, but I don't know if he's worth the ban over something like Lux or Yuumi.
Yeah, there are actually these few regions where Tahm Kench is #1 priority. He even gets first pick. Notoriously, the LCK is the Tahm Kench region, I should say, and everyone wants to play him there. Not too much priority, as you rightfully said, in the VCS. I think Lux and Yuumi are still the stronger supports. And looking at the supports playing in this game, though, especially RonOP prefers his Nautilus, 4 games on the Nautilus, 2 games on Alistar as well, so he likes his tanky dudes. On his side, Diop also rocking the Nautilus, the Braum, the TK, so both of these supports still clinging on the old tanky support meta, not so much on the Lux and Yuumi.
Yep, but with the Karma being picked up there, and there's the Lux as well. As we say, so it looks like we will have that Enchanter. Pot looks like he will go on. Oh, sorry, Pot not on it, but picking up the Camille for his team. Interesting decision there, if that gets locked. Yep, and
yeah, it's the typical Sejuani Camille mid lane jungle 2v2.
It's typical, you say. A little bit VCS.
It's a strong combination. Was played in LCK and LEC as well. Especially on the side of EVOS, I would expect Dia to pilot the Camille, because he has already played Camille 5 times, most played champ by far. We had the big highlight play from Dia as well. This time picked away from him, so he has to go to another champ.
Ooh, I don't know if I like this Azir.
This is already looking very AP focused on EVOS' side.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's just hope they don't lock in Gragas jungle. That would be a very poor decision, as we've ranted and raved on about.
Yep.
LL will probably be getting this Rise as well, and we've seen what Rise can do if he's allowed to scale.
Yeah, we just had probably the biggest Rise pop-off of all leagues in all of summer. So I don't expect this Rise to look quite as scary as the one we just saw in the hands of Kuroko. But he's still a good champ. I actually don't like him top too much. I think he's way better as a mid laner. Maybe we still see Yado piloting Rise mid, even though this matchup is not looking too kind.
No. Looks like Evos wanting to take out Ron OP's Nautilus, as you said. He likes that champion. He likes his beefy boys. So potentially we see another support ban if they want to then first pick a support. But no, they take away Kalista. VCS really highly valuing that pick.
Today, not so much yesterday. It's very interesting that the meta changes so much between the teams, right? Because there doesn't really seem to be a VCS meta. We have GUM and now FTB throwing everything that is standard completely out of the window. So that's not anything to do with a normal meta anyways. And then Kalista priority today seems to be very high. Kai'Sa is still open. 3 ADC bans and Kai'Sa still open. We are in the VCS, remember, so that's not normal.
No, not at all. Olaf locked in for the jungle. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel very good about it. I feel like there were better jungle. At least it's AD, that's true, but I feel like Jarvan is open, Rek'Sai is open.
I'd like Jarvan here, actually. Yeah. I think Olaf will be a nice combination with Karma, especially if they go for early invades on the top side. Very fast Olaf will run over everyone.
Very true. Sivir locked in here for Easy Love. Very strong ADC, as we all know, and will be supported, it looks like, by a Morgana. Man, that's going to be a hard ADC to get a kill on in the bot lane.
Yes. Very surprised that it's not the Yuumi. Sivir Yuumi was one of the premier Sivir lanes when Yuumi came out. And Yuumi is open. Very surprising.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is very, very surprising. I have to see what ADC gets locked. Ooh, are we getting the second Draven?
No.
Is this just a hover to give props for yesterday's game?
It is, apparently. Lucian into Sivir, traditionally a good matchup for the Lucian. Can get pushed in if he loses XP priority, so if he doesn't get to the next level first. Can absolutely shit on the Sivir if he has a good day.
Absolutely can. Hopefully that is what, if you're an EVOS fan, that's what you want to see. It is going to be very difficult for this Lux to do anything in the bot lane, though. Against a Morgana Sivir.
Yeah.
What does Lux do?
I think this Lux will not go Aftershock just for lane, because there's no way he ever gets to trigger the Aftershock. So we might be in for a Guardian Lux, or even a more aggressive choice, something like Ahri, or maybe even Comet. Comet
Maybe.
Lux?
I mean,
maybe Electrocute as well. Yeah, Lux can actually go for whatever she likes.
It's true. Lux can do it. Maybe Hex Flash.
Oh no, please not.
Hex Flash line. I really hope not. Look at that. Look at that keyboard.
That's a pink keyboard.
Yeah, I'm actually really like. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think overall I almost favour the draft from Cerberus. I think it has a much more... Yeah, exactly. It knows what it's doing, while EVOS seems to be a little bit all over the place. The Azir doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, that being said, look at the single lanes. We sometimes get lured into just thinking about team compositions, and I agree. Team composition-wise, Cerberus looks more cohesive. But But look at the lane matchups. Karma will beat Camille, Arzi will push and Rise, Lucian Lux is supposed to beat Sivir with Morgana, so there's a potential of 3 losing lanes for Cerberus. And they are already the team with the worst gold average at 15 minutes, with minus 1,505 gold on average, so this might just be a blowout if EVOS actually wins all 3 lanes and Olaf gets to invade all the time. This is a scary draft. But I agree, if you just look at the composition on Cerberus' side, it's a very well crafted, well rounded composition.
Yeah, I agree, and we do end up seeing the Rise go mid. We weren't 100% sure which way that goes, because Sejuani Camille is such a strong mid lane, and also Azir. I don't know if I like that decision overall.
Yeah, I'd agree, because if you think about the matchups, Rise and Karma will probably be fine, while Camille will struggle, and Rise will struggle against Azir anyway, and Camille will not do a lot better, but now, with this configuration, you have 2 losing lanes instead of 1, so I would definitely agree with your point there.
Yeah, I as you say, I think you just have one, instead of having the 2 losing lanes, you can just have the 1. But maybe they have something planned?
Can just be proficiency as well.
Yeah,
that's very not comfortable on the Camille mid, which is a very different playstyle from your usual mid laner. And yeah, just don't give him Camille mid, I guess, because you should put one of your carries on a good champ for him. Looking at his played champs so far, he has played an Irelia and an Akali game, so 2 melee champs. Other than that, only ranged a mid laner, so he's probably not too keen on playing melee champs in the mid. It's a lot of a preference thing as well. Dia, for example, loves his melee champions in the mid lane, and there's another mid laner in the VCS.
Kiaya,
yep.
Who only plays top lane champions,
I'm still not sure if he's a mid laner actually, or if he's just going mid lane as a top laner. That's more what it feels like.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I mean, that whole team feels like they're all playing the wrong roles, but it's mostly working out for them. Mostly.
Yeah, speaking of Gum is now sitting at 4-3, while EVOS is now at 2-4. So if EVOS wins this series, they are at 3-4, only 1 game behind Gum and QG. So this is actually a very important series for EVOS to still be in contention for playoffs. They have already fallen behind in the playoff race a little bit, but they really need this victory to get back on track.
Yeah, this would be very big for EVOS should they pick this one up. And they should absolutely be favoured here in this matchup over Cerberus. You'd be very disappointed if you're an EVOS fan they managed to lose today. But that said, how many times have we said that about a team this week and ended up eating our words?
All 3 series so far. We have only seen upsets. The closest matchup probably was Flash against Gum. We called Gum favored. In the end, we were not too sure. So that one wasn't really an upset, but everything else, very surprising so far. And even 2-0.
Yeah, I was thinking about that series. I still think you should have played Yoshino in Game 3.
Probably.
Oh well, that's done and dusted. We have this game to go on. And actually to lane swap. Yado's going top. So that issue that we were bringing up, well, they just swapped the players around. So it is almost certainly just a proficiency thing.
Yeah, and that's nice to see, because as we analyzed, the matchup this way is way better. So even though their players are not too keen on playing the melee or ranged champ, they just swap the lanes, which is a good adaptation. Now we have to see if they are actually comfortable playing the lanes, because especially Rise plays quite differently in top lane compared to mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely he does. Oh, LL getting absolutely trucked here. This is we did say that this was not going to be a fun time for Camille, and we're already seeing why.
Yeah, especially in the early levels, where her base stats are not high enough to go for burst trades, try to push the Azir away from the wave. in the early game. She's struggling.
Exactly. Yep. And down in the bottom lane, it is the early lead here for Lucian, just the push lead, and a very minor CS lead because of the tower, but very likely that once Sivir gets a couple of levels going, she will just be able to... Whoa, LL throws himself in here. This is a lot of damage, has the shield as well, but takes a little sting on the way out, so he does actually lose the trade in the end.
Yeah, and we see an interesting adaptation on Dia's side. Look at his rune choice. What was the thought? There might be a gank coming in.
Ooh. Definitely looking for it, but without any hard CC out of LL, it might be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Should be able to see one just eating away.
So I can get back to the point. He's gone with the Electrocute, which we see more and more on the Azir actually, mostly into Corki to win trades. And this is another lane where he... I'm not too sure if he had to go for Electrocute, but what it's doing for him is he gets better burst trades, and he can actually trade very short windows against the melee champ that wants to not extend any fights. So this is an interesting adaptation. I think he could still have gone for something like Lethal Tempo for more late game scaling. This is clearly picked for lane, so Dia wants to dominate the early game.
Look at how slick that jungle clear was there. That was super slick. Good to see out of pot, got those mechanics, turbo clearing, speeding it up. But yeah, I think you make a good point there. Electrocute is, I actually think it's the better choice, because Azir, as much as, this is obviously a pick for lane and Lethal Tempo would have been better for the late game scaling, I feel like if this goes late, it's going to come down to, does Ryze die? If yes, EVOS wins. If no, Cerberus loses. Cerberus wins, sorry. In a late game team fight. So I'm not sure how much the Lethal Tempo would matter. But yeah, it's a 50. I don't think either choice was strictly wrong or strictly correct, but Electrocute will definitely help him in lane.
It's interesting how much the trades have changed since LL has gone back to base and teleported back into lane. Dia is actually struggling in the trades since then, and LL is constantly on full HP, which is a little bit surprising. I think Dia lost a lot of his mana for the early trades at levels 1 and 2, and yeah, now he goes back to base, should have enough money to pick up an early Stinger. Oh no, it's actually boots into a little bit of attack speed and more Dorans.
Yep, double Dorans, picked up a refillable pot as well. He's going for the long haul in lane. As we see pot coming down, No Way's pretty exposed here, but very nice dash there. Dodges that Sejuani Q. The reaction speed is great, and he gets away.
Look at that speedy Ryze, going for the old Ryze rune choice. We've seen many more Ryzes since the rework go for laning runes, because his laning was hurt a lot with the shield not being there anymore. But this Ryze goes for the late game, goes for the speed up. Ooh, almost sealing away the Gromp there. Not Gromp, I'm sorry. Wraith.
The Raptor.
That's yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, I still call them Wraiths as well. Bring back Wraiths, honestly.
Raptors are nasty in TFT.
Yeah, they are.
They deal a lot of damage.
Absolutely. Thank God they made it so that sorcerers can kill dragon.
That's a very
best change of patch.
That's a very good change.
That was the worst feeling when you were like winning and dominating everyone, and then dragon just absolutely kicked your ass. And you had no chance, but yeah, TFT, it's a good time. Try it out, everyone. Give Daddy Riot more money trying to get your favorite little legend.
It's actually very little money you can spend on TFT. Okay?
No, it's only for the little legend,
yeah.
But you can't purchase the one you want directly. It's loot boxes, which I don't like, but it's just cosmetic, so who really cares? Yeah, so you have to like just buy boxes and just constantly roll and hope you get the one you want.
Going back to the game a little bit, what do you think of Zorn's early game and early pathing so far?
I mean, I think it speaks for itself. He's so far up in CS here, he hasn't bothered trying to gank, which I actually think is a fairly good idea. Like, what lane do you gank? LL can probably always hookshot away. You might be able to go for something top, but you're going to have to do almost all of the damage as the Olaf because Coyote's not going to contribute a super huge amount. He will speed you up, but that's about it. And down in the bot lane, it's a Morgana and a Civic. Have fun. So I think he's just hard farming and he's doing well.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem here for the top lane gank setup is that Yado has gone with the Phase Rush. And that means he can just run away from the snare. And without the snare, there's no hard CC on Yado, so I really don't see the gank succeeding in the top lane, as you rightfully said. So this is a hard game to play for Zorn. At least he's ahead in farm, and I mean, normally you would like your Olaf to be a little bit more accelerated, get 1 or 2 early kills. And now he's finally looking for a gank.
Yep. We'll go in, spots that ward, so we'll have to come back because Cerberus is aware that he's here. That said,
this spot lane, that's just not possible.
Not out. One thing we didn't comment on when it happened is he did pick up first dragon, so that is a nice Cloud Drake there for EVOS.
Yep.
Again, as you said, it would be nice for the Olaf to have participated in a couple of kills by now, but if that can't happen, at least he does have a pretty solid farm lead, has picked up that dragon, and isn't going to fall behind and sort of be that turbo in Olaf that we know about. He gives away that blue buff there.
So far it has been a very quiet game, not a whole lot has happened. One dragon, as you said, went in EVOS's favor. How is Bia not hitting all these W's? Very weird.
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
Maybe it's on the way, stepping out of the shield. But I'm actually very impressed with Yado's laning phase so far. It's Ryze top, as I said before, doesn't have the best laning phase anymore. With his shield gone, his trades are not super great. And into Coyote's most played champ, Karma is now a 3rd pick already.
Yep.
He's absolutely fine. He farms even, and now Coyote gets scored.
Ooh. Coyote in a little bit of trouble here. Pot is getting damage. The Realm Warp used as well. Pretty good. Coyote's Pot, that's unforgivable. But the flash away, the stun comes in, as does a TP. Pot is going to go down for first blood, but Coyote's probably going to get answered back here. It does. LL, Zorn flashes over the wall just to be safe. That was really, really bad, Pot. That's unforgivable.
There was absolutely no reason to do that. Just wait.
You have to know how long stopwatch is.
Yeah, like, either you have to time it better, which should be possible as a pro player who has...
I can do that.
10,000...
I can time a stopwatch, and I'm not very good.
I mean, that's not the hardest thing to do in LoL. So, man, what a big mistake by Pot, and it actually cost them the first kill. They had to invest way more resources than they wanted. All the flashes gone from Cerberus' side. Literally only one OP's flash still up, and he wasn't involved in the play, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, this was very, very poor. This should be a very free kill. Nice Realm Warp out of Yado as well.
Why that way? He did everything wrong there. Pot literally messed everything up that he could mess up in the play.
Yeah, that was...
Why would you...
That was very ugly juggling. You should have thrown... Even if he, like, mistiming it is bad enough, but he should have been throwing it downriver regardless, and the slow field was better positioned.
Yeah.
Coyote taking a fair bit of damage here, but he is Karma, so he just runs away. Who ends up getting the Herald there? I'm not actually sure. It does look like it's EVOS, yep, because they can't pick the eye up. Now, can they win this fight here? Beob's taking so much damage, but he actually squeaks out of there as LL goes down, as does Zorn already in the fight. I don't know if Dia1 wants to go forward there. He's going to take a lot, but the shields are big. The culling comes out, doing so much damage on Yado. Dia1 goes down there, but so does Easy Love in return. They should be able to get in, pick up this eye. And overall, it's 2 for 2. It's a messy one, but in the end, 2 for 2, and EVOS picks up the Eye of the Herald. They're out to a 1.7k gold lead.
Yep, just as we thought, looking at the stats, especially for Cerberus. This is absolutely in line in terms of gold leads. This is one of the reasons why Cerberus has only won 2 games all season. They look for too many fights in the early game and lose too many fights in the early game. This was closer than it first looked. I think Dia1 had a very good performance, very good positioning, and got a lot of consistent DPS off in this fight. Look at this again. So first Coyote gets caught, but with a shield from Biob and himself. Oh, the ult from Dia1 was not great. Take that back.
No, it wasn't. Very, very bad.
Very, very crucial ult there, extending the fight. Now Dia1 is uncontested. Yado cannot go too close to Dia1. He's not level 11, so his rise damage is not the greatest yet. Dia1 with strange status stepping, Orb walking in the wrong direction there, and gets caught. So in the end, my praise was completely wrongly placed. Dia1 actually had a horrible fight.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell sometimes who's doing what in a fight so chaotic, so I don't blame you. But yeah, Dia1 didn't do very well there. That Azir wall was, well, it wasn't great.
Was probably what won them the fight. Biob with great
Biob
shields.
played that super well. Yeah, so far, Noway's looking pretty good on this Lucian as well. Has a pretty solid farm lead here, down in the bot lane.
What do you actually think of No Way back in as an ADC this time?
I'm not sure. I'm torn a little bit.
Yeah, I think in week 1 Divkit clearly performed better as an ADC, but last week actually looked rough for Divkit, so I kind of can understand where they're coming from, where they want to put No Way back in. Divkit has struggled last week, so try to give... Maybe it's a little bit of direction for the team as well, with Coyote, another rookie coming in. They want to have their probably shot-calling veteran.
Ooh, Easy Love just dies bot.
Now that's really surprising.
That shouldn't happen. Once again, we see an ADC die when the support is roaming. I think we end up talking about that just a little bit too much. And the collapse is coming in here. Coyote is well backed off, though. I don't think they're going to find anything. Like, you can go over that wall, but it's a Karma. She's out of there.
The second Cloud usually would say, ugh, 2 Clown Drakes, what's that for? But look at the team. It's against the Sivir, it's with a Karma and an Olaf, so this is actually very good.
Ooh, they came back in here. I don't like this decision by Coyote, but he has survived quite a long time. That Karma healing and shielding is so strong. He's actually going to get out here, and they may actually turn this. That Luxalt was good. Not the most amount of damage, because obviously it's quite early, but... interesting decision by Coyote to step up. But yeah, Biob is playing
everywhere.
Yeah. Coyote as well did well to hold his nerve there. Mantraed the W as well as using the shield, so... Karma, pretty hard to kill, but I don't think he should have stepped up at all. This was the solo kill down bot, so it was just a really good combo from No Way. And yeah, just Biob finishing it off.
Yeah, nicely done. And No Way even missed his Q there and was still enough damage. Culling in the early game can do a ridiculous amount of damage. I think one of the few ADC ults that's actually useful in the early trades. Has something like 500, 600 max damage. And if you land everything in a 1v1 early on, that's almost the whole HP bar.
It really is. It is a lot. Oh, another binding hits there, but not onto who they were aiming at. As Yado was the one bounded up. They don't go forward. Wise. They don't need to go that aggressive. And we go back into a little bit of a holding pattern, but it is a 4k gold lead at 17 minutes here for EVOS. They're looking pretty good in this one.
Once again, we have the battle of the bindings. Light binding for Evors and dark binding for Cerberus, but I think this time the light will probably win. The dark side not too strong. Cookies are not prepared.
Absolutely. The cookies are definitely looking a little bit burnt this time. Still waiting for a game where we can have a proper Morgana versus Kayle, but Lux will do.
That will not happen for a long time. Kayle is absolutely useless.
Kayle is garbage.
I've not seen a Kayle on a game I played for a very long time, and she was already not great in pro play when she was absolutely OP in solo queue.
Yeah. I mean, I play Kayle every now and then when I'm just kind of like...
Do you play everything?
I play a lot of things. I do. I play a lot of things because I don't take it overly seriously, so I just play random things sometimes. I mean, when I say I play Kayle sometimes, I mean, I think I played her once about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. What was her power level at? Absolutely useless?
We won, but I think it was because I was against a Teemo top, and he couldn't kill me, and I just farmed until 16, and then my team carried me.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't do anything. Her power level was pretty low.
Yeah, she's good in TFT, so that's that.
Yeah.
Good for noble buffs.
Yeah, I played against someone beat me today with a double Shojin's Kayle. That was a bad time. That was a lot of shields. But regardless, TFT and my solo queue adventures aside, no one wants to hear about those, believe me. Back into this game, it is still this holding pattern. Evos just sitting on their lead. It's actually shrunk just by a couple hundred gold, but nothing to be alarmed about, as they're just going to grow it out. Look at this lead in the bottom lane.
Yeah,
this is bad. No Way is playing very well.
I still don't really understand this new Lucian build in the VCS. I'm a little bit confused that every Lucian builds the same items while every LCK Lucian goes for full crit. This is a little bit of a head scratcher, because this build actually spikes pretty late. I mean, it's still okay in the mid game with the Blade of the Rune King still giving him all the stats he wants to play on the front line. It's still a little bit confusing. I think you can go 2-item crit, just like the Sivir, and go for full crit build and actually challenge Sivir in teamfights in terms of DPS output.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is strange. It's almost like the VCS teams just don't like to play full crit at all, despite the strength of the build. Crit marksmen are very strong at the moment, but VCS just doesn't seem to like them. A little bit outdated on the build sometimes, the VCS is.
I think ADC meta in VCS is actually quite outdated overall. We have not seen a single Ashe yet, and Ashe seems to be rising everywhere else in the world. The Comet Ashe Trinity into... No, not Trinity into... It's Essence Reaver into Trinity into crit, 40% CDR as soon as possible, spam ult.
Yep.
We've not seen a single one of those. I think actually for teams like GAM, that would be a perfect pickup.
Yeah, I mean, assuming Hugh can play it. But I mean, she
really
basically play
a whole lot on the Ashe. You just spam W and the waves disappear.
Exactly. It is pretty much a mage at that point.
I mean, even Hiku won a game on Ashe, and Hiku is not a great player, so just go for the Ashe.
Yeah, I agree. It is an interesting case study on how regional metas can sometimes work. Evidently, VCS just not wanting to change up what they do. They like the way they play, they like the champions they play, and they're quite slow to adapt. Like, we still don't see any Morgana. Sorry, not Morgana. We do see Morgana. I was just looking at her. We don't see Qiyana or Mordekaiser.
We had one Qiyana game. Mordekaiser only once seen once as well.
Yep.
I think Asian teams overall don't like the Mordekaiser too much. I heard different opinions about Mordekaiser, him being pretty bad. I think Koreans don't like him a lot. Too slow, not a lot of mobility, not safe
Yeah,
enough.
well,
His power level
yeah,
is
well,
high,
Korea-
especially on this patch still. But
yeah, well, Korea's wrong. They're a wild card region. How dare they insult my boy?
yeah, that's right.
I mean, I do think Mordekaiser isn't nearly as OP as people say, but his numbers are high on 913, but I think on 914 he's actually super.
Yeah,
Um,
and I don't think we'll see him too often in pro play in 914
I
anymore. He's not.
Yep, I think he's
his
a bit
kit is
too-
not really pro play appropriate. I think he's more of a
I
solo
agree.
queue champ, more of the low elo solo queue champ probably.
I feel like I should be insulted, but yeah, no, you are right. He's very simple, which is
He's
why I
AP
like him.
Darius, right? And we don't see Darius
Yeah.
ever, so yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They have
He
to
is.
be careful with
I
that,
am. Yeah, no, I am totally joking. The reason I like him is because he's simple. I like to be able to just sometimes turn my brain off. So
And sometimes
My
simple
brain.
champs appear on pro play as well. I mean, Karma is absolutely a simple champ. Olaf is simple. Actually, not
Yeah.
too easy to play. But yeah, some simple champs are on pro play as well. Sometimes
yeah, they
we need to
typically
see
have
more mechanics.
other regions than damage that they're picked up though.
Stuff like Pantheon, who's just. I mean, he's not picked up often in pro play, but if he is, it's for his immediate stun, it's for his laning power. So those are the
Exactly, yeah.
things you need to have if you want to be a pro play ready champ.
Precisely. I mean, we may well see, depending on how the rework goes. Who knows? Maybe Pantheon will become a top tier pro pick. We never know.
That sounds very annoying.
Well, I mean,
I mean, his ult is high.
yeah, he might not be as annoying after his rework. We don't know. I imagine he'll keep a point and click stun because it's not really Pantheon without that.
He'll keep his passive, and that's the most annoying part about him, I think.
True. Absolutely. The amount of times I've.
By the way, look at Coyote's item build. He likes
Yeah,
red
wow.
items.
This is impressive. Yeah, he's got a. He's on theme. He's got that fashion going. Bit of League of Fashion. But I like this build, honestly. I think going the 2 supportive items into the Rabadons is actually pretty strong.
Yeah, it's a
But
very supportive build. He doesn't
yeah,
deal
it's
a
also
whole lot of
3
damage
items
right
super early.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't do that much damage at all, but I don't feel like he needs to be doing a super huge amount of damage. I think this is going to very much be protect the DR1 in a lot of ways. No
I
way
actually
will
think
make
DR1 will
it
probably
around
protect himself, and he'll focus his shields on Zorn and No Way. DR1 staying back in the backline. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the teamfights are very easy to play for EVOS. You just have Olaf running in thoughtlessly with his Karma shield and his Karma speed up. Oh, he's actually dealing quite a bit of damage on LL.
Oh yeah, but LL decides to have to go as well. But in the end, they trade onto each other. But the blue buff was picked up by Coyote. I'm not sure about that Baron start there. Were they just clearing wards and Baron was hit? I'm not sure. But if that was the Baron start, it was a little bit misguided.
They thought about it, but in the end they're calling it off. Losing another Dragon is not great, especially as this Betrayal Drake once again on the Rift. We have seen a lot of Mountain Drakes.
We really have. I can't think of too many games where it hasn't been a Mountain Drake
Yeah.
spawn.
That should not happen. We have not seen any Infernal Drakes lately.
Yeah, wow. When was our last Infernal? It has been a while, and the TP coming in bot, and it was absolutely not needed as LL just eviscerates Coyote.
That Q damage.
My word.
is
That
disgusting.
was the knife legs coming in very sharp. That's a big kill. This side lane is definitely not safe for EVOS. This is potentially a way for Cerberus to start getting their way back into the game, and they have closed the gold lead by a lot.
Yeah, do you remember what the gold lead was at 50 minutes?
It was 4K, was it?
Yeah, it was 4K,
That's,
and now we're at 26 minutes, and we're looking at an even gold game almost.
Ooh, no way. Playing a bit risky there, but does go over the wall. Now has to flash back. Easy Love taking a lot of damage from the culling. Beob hits a nice binding there. No way playing it so aggro, but Beob does eventually go down. No way should have the cooldown and gets out. In the end, 1 for 1, but there's a certain other person that might be going down here. What was that? Who just flashed? I didn't even catch that. I think it might have been Yado. Yeah, it was.
Coyote.
And there is Baron. Oh, it was Coyote. So Baron picked up. Yado. Baron picked up there. The Realm Warp is called. DR1 tries to flash over the wall. Sorn pops his ult there. They go in on Yado. I don't know if he really wanted that Realm Warp in the end. RonOP as well is going to get found. So Baron and a couple of kills here for EVOS, and they go back out to the gold lead they had, just as I was about to praise.
A very opportunistic play from EVOS. I don't think any of this passage of play was planned, but they adapted on the fly. Very good problem solving shown once again. They see the fight erupt on the bot lane. They noticed that there are a lot of members committed to the fight on the side of Cerberus, so they just call the Baron. And why not? You have the Azir and Karma shield with a Mountain Drake, so this is a pretty easy, I should say, Baron to take. A little bit risky on the backside there, especially with Coyote getting Baron aggro, very unfortunate.
Yeah, Yado did about as well as he could there. I don't think he needed to take this Realm Warp though. I think he should have realized he was going to be in the middle of 2 and just gets absolutely destroyed.
And DR1 steps into the Dark Binding and has to use his cleanse to not die.
Yeah.
DR1's dodging game has not been on point this first game in this series, but I don't think it will matter in the end. It's still only around a 4k gold lead, so back to 4k. This Ryze is now level 16, so there's still a possibility for Cerberus.
Yeah, there absolutely is. My god, Beob has been so on point on this Lux. He's having a very good game.
I really like his Lux play, even though I hate his build, but whatever, I hate every Lux support build in the VCS, it seems.
I mean, I don't think Athane's first is terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
I think Ardent's better, but it's not Redemption.
Why are you skipping Arden completely though? With an Olaf and an Azir and Lucian, 3 champs who really like the Ardens.
Yeah, but maybe they're just. I guess they're just relying on the Karma Ardent.
Oh right, they have another Arden. That's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. It's actually not as bad as I thought. Yeah, that's true. And Redemption with Olaf is actually a super good item. That's why Olaf picked up Redemption in spring. Tarzan over at Griffin popularized that build with first item Redemption, because Olaf gets a lot of extra healing out of his W. I think it's 20%, 30%. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, but we do need to see what EVOS can do with the remainder of this Baron buff. They really didn't get a huge amount out of it. It was pretty much just 1 tower, which is a little bit disappointing. But yeah, but considering, as you said, I don't think they planned on getting Baron there. They just kind of said, oh, well, they're all on the bot side. Why not, right?
Yeah, we'll take it.
So, yeah, exactly. So they weren't really set up to do any big Baron pushes in that. But we do have a situation where there is a level 16 Ryze, as you said. So Yado could potentially put the carrier pants on here.
And 3 item Sivir as well. Sadly, once again, Sivir not going for 100% crit. I will never understand why VCS ADCs refuse to build 100% crit. Especially on the Sivir, where it's super important in my opinion. You need that ricochet crit. It's way too risky not getting the ricochet.
Yep. It's the difference between your ricochet critting and your ricochet not critting is potentially game changing.
Absolutely.
So you need to go 100% crit on Sivir, I completely agree. So I don't agree with this build, but regardless, it's a 3 item Sivir. Approaching that, he's at that 300 CS win condition, so let's see if it is a real win condition.
Yeah, we're still 150 CS off of the famous 500 CS win condition. If she actually builds real items, we might see a 500 CS silver win condition. That being said, this Lucian is no slouch in the late game. It's not the usual mid-game Lucian build. This is crit Lucian, and he's finally hit his 50%. I'd like to see another RC on him. What is this? Oh man, Easy Love, why are you doing this to me?
What is this Executioner's calling for?
Well, that's surprising as well, yeah. Pot, I guess?
Where?
Pot's warm-ups?
Is that worth it?
No, that's actually completely useless, because warm-ups will
Yeah,
only trigger if he's
out
out
of
of combat
combat,
anyway,
Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me.
No, that's really... Oh, it's against the LL healing, I guess, because he is gone with the aggressive Hydra. Lifesteal Hydra, but is that threatening in the teamfights? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think EVOS is just waiting for the Elder Dragon, to be honest. This game has not been too eventful, a very slow grind out game. EVOS looks a little bit indecisive, I have to say. Very good problem solving, as I said earlier, because they profited with the Baron. But now...
Ooh, as we do have the fight here, LL goes under tower against Coyote, will be able to kill him pretty easily. Coyote did his best there to try and at least get the GA back, but level 18 Camille against a Karma is a bad time, but Baron started up here. Have they stayed on it? No, they haven't pulled off completely, get out of there safely. In the end, just a pretty free kill, and now Cerberus is starting Baron, and this will go down pretty quick if they commit to it.
Oh no, they don't have to commit. Just pull them in, let your Camille split push. It's still 30 seconds on Coyote, so you can actually get, you can easily get an inhibitor with this Camille. Just stay on the Baron.
Baron started again. Baron having a bad day. This is going down so fast.
This is super risky for me.
Throws his ult. Yep, this is so risky, but they do secure it. D1 gets it, does a lot of damage as well. Sorn is in his GA. Will stand up in a moment. No Way is going down, and down goes Sorn there. The flash out from D1. They do get Baron, but in exchange, look at this. Look at the base. They lose an inhib.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit. They could have done better on Cerberus' side. The contest was a little late. I think they could have delayed EVOS on the Baron a little longer, because EVOS just ignored them after seeing they would not contest fast enough, and that probably bought them a few seconds. But yeah, overall Cerberus still with better macro, and I'm really confused on what EVOS was doing there. Why would you restart the Baron? You need to defend your bot lane. Baron will actually not do anything for EVOS now. It's the only thing it will really give them is an advantage over the Elder Dragon spawn. Elder Dragon is the real big win condition now for EVOS, looking at their 5 elemental drakes.
Yeah, this Elder Dragon is super huge. And just talking about gold lead, it's been going from 4K and down constantly. We see it go back out to 4K, and now it's back down to 3, actually 2, as I remember how numbers work. So it's only EVOS up by 2K, which at 35 minutes is negligible. 2K, who cares?
That's not relevant. The Drake buff is much more relevant, especially Cloud Drake and Mountain Drake, as those two will really give you something in terms of rotational speed and also objective secure speed.
Yeah, I do just want to refer back to the build here for No Way. He's gone for the Mortal Reminder.
For absolutely no reason.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah, that Mortal Reminder is really useless. I can't understand the Mortal Reminder.
Yeah, but Elder Dragon is started up, and it'll go down quickly. LL is pushing in the top lane, but here comes the TPs. Both top laners coming in. Pot is in the pit, and Biob is dead, and the smite goes over. Lucian has secured it. Pot is going to melt. They've all got that true damage burn now. They need to be so careful on the side of Cerberus. LL has to hook shot away, but he's got a ways to run. As Sorn, actually taking so much damage, has to go into the stopwatch, but he's going to go down straight out of it, presumably. Never mind Karma! My god, and he gets away. Only 1 kill secured there in the end, for EVOS, they did pick up Pot and in trade for Biob. But they get that Elder Drake. They need to win with this. They need to push with it, at least.
Yeah, the second Elder Drake is what they're looking at. I don't think they can get a whole lot out of this Dragon buff. We get to see it's active for 1 minute and 40 seconds, so that will not be enough to push in any lane, really, because everything is actually pushing in favor of Cerberus right now. I actually don't like the TP coming in from LL. I think he should have probably committed to the split push. Would have been risky either way, but now his TP is not up anymore, so now Yado is the one split pushing, and he's way slower securing turrets and inhibitors.
Yeah, very, very true. The question here is, though, is that, yes, I think you're right, EVOS is very likely going to play for the second Elder Dragon, but at what point is it just a bit too late and you're going to be against a Ryze that's just too big?
I mean, Ryze traditionally struggles a lot against Azir in teamfights because he can never get close.
True.
So I'm actually not sure if this Ryze will ever outscale in teamfights, because usually he just can't get to the targets in the teamfights. It's easier now with the new E spreading, so he just has to press E once and then Q anywhere in the direction, and probably 1000 damage crits come in on anyone. So that's still scary, but I think Cerberus is more reliant on Sivir to win the teamfights now. And she still hasn't gone for a 100% crit.
Yeah, this Bloodthirster seems considerably worse than getting 100% crit, but it does give her some safety, I guess, recovery when those ricochets are going, but I don't like the Sivir build.
Yeah, she built Bloodthirster into Mortal Reminder, which is even more confusing.
Yeah, that seems very silly. I didn't even think about that. Just making that Mortal Reminder not look as silly as we might think it is.
And it still is silly.
It still is, but it looks a little bit smarter now into a Bloodthirster.
Yeah, she has 2 defensive items, and I hate 2 defensive items on ADCs, I have to say. You can go 1 lifesteal item, but not 2. The Hex Drinker, the upgraded Hex Drinker, the Morpher Mortis, yeah, that's the name, will give you lifesteal anyway if you're low, so don't go.
Ooh, LL in so much trouble here. He's just going to instantly die. Burns his ult. Why is there a TP coming in? This seems insane. He actually goes into a GA, and they might be able to turn this around. Yado's here. He's going to do a lot of AoE damage, but the culling comes out. LL goes down, and Easy Love gets knocked forward. That Sivir is just going to absolutely melt. But they do manage to pick up Dia1. Here comes Sorn. Ragnarok is popped. Yado's doing his absolute best there, but Sorn in the end will pick him up. This could be the beginning of the end, as it's only Pot alive. No way, just ignoring towers. The shields are so big.
Yeah, this is a big problem for Cerberus. We have actually talked about this for DBL. Overcommitting when one member is caught out. I spotted this passage of gameplay a lot in their Rift Rivals games. DBL actually got ahead and then overcommitted to one member being caught out. Now the same happens for Cerberus, and this will just be the game. Very unfortunate ending for Cerberus, who look good in this game.
Yeah, they look better than they have.
With a loss.
Yep, this will be EVOS picking up the win. I think they were trying to go for a turn on the Camille GA, but in the end, that's a very, very risky play. They should have just let him go down and tried to play the game out. But EVOS will pick up game 1. Not the best look out of them,
but
at
least they won the game.
Yep.
And looking back at the last team fight, the Ryze missed his first 2 Qs. And imagine those two Qs hit. Those are 1000+ damage crits. So he missed potential 3,000-4,000 damage in the start of the fight. Hit 2 Qs afterwards, and we saw Dia absolutely blow up. I think there was 1 combo from Ryze and he was gone. So
yep.
Ryze is scary in the late game. Ryze is real scary in the late game, but he actually missed the skill shots and got punished for that. More important part, of course, was LL overextending, getting caught out, and probably calling the TPs, right?
Yeah, probably. You'd assume that he's calling to TP in, or at the very least, not calling not to. If the team is saying, "Hey, let's go," he needs to be saying, "Well, don't," or not be calling it in the first place. Looking forward, we want to see EVOS win a little bit stronger against Cerberus here if they want to be a real contender in this league. But they do pick the win up, which is good enough.
Yeah, for the first game, we want to see a better performance, as I said, for game 2. I think Coyote on the Karma, now the third game for him on Karma, still has not really found his way. I think he needs to show a little bit of a carry performance for us to really acknowledge his play, but so far he has only been average, maybe slightly below average as a new top laner, which is not good enough for EVOS. They look to replace Mears in the top lane, who was also an average top laner, so replacing average top laner with an average top laner is not something you want to do.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, he has just been playing these super supportive champions, and I mean, in the end, his shields were pretty good, but that's just the champion. He was losing 1v1s a lot, which is not great.
And so, MVP for this first very messy, very long game.
Kind of hard to say, I think.
I think it's either bot laner for EVOS.
Yeah.
I'm fine with either one, because No Way had a great performance in terms of statistics. 604 in the end of the game. His item build was a big question mark and actually delayed the game a little bit for EVOS. But his in-game performance outside of what items he clicked was okay. And good laning phase, good teamfight execution. I don't really have a lot to say against No Way.
Yeah, I think
Biob, good Lux performance, right?
I think I'm gonna lean towards Biob. His Lux was super impressive. Was super clutch quite a few times. No Way obviously had a really great performance, but I think my vote is to Biob.
Yep, I'm absolutely fine with that. I liked his Lux play a lot, especially in the early game. I think he had some little missteps in the mid game where he got caught out as well. But most of the time, he hit great light bindings and very good accuracy, especially on the Lux ult.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we'll have to see if EVOS is able to close out the game, or the series I should say, with the next game starting in 5 minutes.
G'day everybody, welcome back here for game 2 of Erebus, EVOS vs Cerberus. They haven't merged together to make one super team, 10 players on the Rift, but no, it's EVOS vs Cerberus. No way picking up the MVP from game 1. I mean, I think it was between him and Biob, so...
Yeah, we said we were fine with either player, so... I would have predicted that No Way would get the MVP for game 1 for the official broadcast, because he ended the game with 604, so stats don't lie for the official broadcast. If you want to predict the MVP coming out of the official broadcast, just look at the stat line after the game. That's 85% of the time probably. Best stats get the MVP.
Yep, that or some super hype pip that didn't actually do anything. This is interesting though. Out goes Yado. Parquet has come in. Cerberus trying something different here for game 2.
Was that substitution warranted? What do you think?
I don't think so.
Oh,
out goes Easy Love as well.
Wait, Zalrus is a support player, isn't he? I think he's supposed to be a support player. So we have another FTV GAM situation here at our hands. Let me check real quick. Zaldrus, no, he's listed as an ADC player, so he's the substitute ADC. I don't think we've seen him play this season, maybe once? I don't remember actually. I don't think we have seen him. Was there another substitution for EVOS happening? No, I don't think so, right?
I don't think so, no.
So now we get to see two not so common players for Cerberus. Cerberus is desperately looking for a working lineup. So far they've only won 2 single games, by far the worst win rate, especially with FTV now picking up a serious victory against DBL early on today. Cerberus has only won 2 games, 2-11 now on the season. They also have the by far longest game average, which is kind of surprising as the bottom tier team.
Yeah, it is interesting to say the least. They managed to hold on for quite a long time, but in the end just can't close out, and it's a bit of a shame, but oh well, I guess.
Yeah, but
we'll have to see if they can potentially put something together here.
What is our read on EVOS? If they eke out a second victory here in the fashion they won the first game, that doesn't really fill you with confidence, right?
No, not at all, really.
EVOS has looked pretty iffy in the last few series. I'm quite surprised that they're still trying this new roster. I think even though Mears didn't look great, the team overall looked better with Mears in.
Yep, I completely agree. I think with Mears, he wasn't fantastic by any means, but he was fairly good. I don't think Coyote showed any performance that was better. So I'm not sure why they're so insistent on running him over Mears.
His champion pool seems to be very shallow. He always wants his Karma in the top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Karma is very strong, but we'll have to see what happens to him should he not be able to get that Karma. He looks a lot worse then.
Absolutely. Yes. I guess we give another game to Coyote. Tomorrow is actually a very important day for EVOS. They play against FTV. And with FTV rising, winning today against DBL, this is a very dangerous series for EVOS. If they drop to FTV, it's not a great sign for their fight for playoffs.
Yeah, that's a terrible sign, to say the least. If they were to drop tomorrow as well, or just in general, that's very bad. EVOS, I'm not sure if they have really impressed me enough for me to say that they are a real chance for playoffs.
Yeah, especially with 5 teams above them, only 4 playoff spots, so they're only the 6th team looking in. that's already not a position you want to be at. And coming into the second round robin with a disadvantage in terms of overall standings and the playoff race, and one of the underdogs to get to playoffs, it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. But here we go. We are into Champions League here for Game 2. Do we expect any significant change-ups here?
I mean, Zeldros and Parquet are in, right? So we don't really have an idea what their play looks like, or if they bring another big champion pool difference. Alal is still in. I liked his Camille. I'd like to see him on Camille again. Pot Sejuani looked pretty off. Karma ban against Coyote, so he has to play in something else. It's a little bit surprising.
Yep. I mean, like, at least they made him play something else. I don't think he was super impressive on that Karma, but evidently...
Solo killed him twice.
Exactly. Cerberus just doesn't want to play against again, and Camille is banned out. LL not going to be able to get the same kind of solo kills.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Nico banned out. Lux is still open. Yuumi was not picked or banned in the last game. So priority picks right now are probably Sylas, Lux, maybe something like the Zaya. Yeah, those champs probably are right now sitting on the highest priority.
Yeah, very likely, but never mind. Apparently, Renekton is going to be potentially first picked here. I mean, Coyote might be able to show us that he can play a carry.
Yeah.
Finally, but I don't know how I feel about this.
So far, he has only played Karma, Nico, and Irelia, so this is a new champ. If this, in fact, goes to Coyote, there's still the definite possibility that this is a mid lane Crocodile.
Absolutely. Cerberus responding with what I think is a much stronger 2 picks here, potentially, picking up Lux and Sylas. That's a much better tier list pick.
Yeah, 2 of the picks I predicted as first pick priority, coming in as first round on the red side.
Absolutely. That's a bit of a dream there for Cerberus, and you saw how quickly they picked them up, so they're pretty happy. What do we see answered back here? Lucian
and for Norway? Yeah, why not? I'd like to see the Yuumi here. Biop has played Yuumi once before, and there she is. Yay!
And there it is. You called it. Your predictions are going very well so far. Bit of a Nostradamus. As we do get that Lucian Yuumi, such a strong bot lane. I'm really happy to see that. Hopefully they can really put the screws in. Especially with Zeldris coming in. We don't know how big.
No? Okay. I guess not.
Not yet.
I tried. Kai'Sa is a good bet. If you ever want to win a prediction game against someone and you're watching BCS, just bet Kai'Sa at every stage. Kai'Sa is a good bet.
Yeah. It's very true. That or Nico will feature in the draft.
I've seen too much Aatrox lately, actually. Interesting that he's making a reappearance here. LL probably piloting the Aatrox this game. I already like the top side from Cerberus because it's not full AP, and that's something we don't see too often, especially on red side.
Yeah, you're very correct. We do have mixed damage types for Cerberus on the top side, which is something you shouldn't have to be saying when you're watching pro play, but here in the BCS, sometimes players do make that mistake. 2 junglers going to be banned out. Makes sense here. Cerberus, of course, have already secured a jungler, so they may as well pinch the pool. Same logic here for EVOS, taking out the Caitlyn, who they actually banned 2 games in a row. They really don't want to play against that. And the Xayah, but there's still so many ADCs up. But we don't know what Zeldris plays.
What fits the draft right now? I'd like an... Oh, no, I don't like that. Ezreal would be way better, in my opinion.
Okay.
Well, that's
I don't think Kalista Lux is a good lane. Kalista Lux isn't a very good lane.
Kalista Lux into Lucian Yuumi. Lucian
sure you just-
Kalista matchup. I think Lucian is too
That's a bad
slippery for
card.
Kalista to really stick on him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Yumi, giving him the zoomies. That's a real bad time.
Yeah, I don't like the Kalista match lock-in here. I think Ezreal would have
Could
been
be a
nice.
flex flux. I mean, we may. Ooh, hello, Karagas Yasuo.
Nice.
Avos giving it something a little bit explosive here for their mid jungle duo.
And I think playing around Son Dia was what we wanted from EVOS most of the time. So
Yep.
like to see this one.
Absolutely, and it looks like it will be a potential last pick Irelia here. So we'll have to figure out where each of these go.
Irelia into Gragas Yasuo.
It's risky.
How good is Irelia into Yasuo?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest.
Yasuo can block the Flawless Duet with his Wind Wall.
Mhm.
And the
Could also
ult as
block
well.
the ult.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, sustained fights should go in the favor of Irelia, but I'm not actually too sure if I want to call it a... I think mid lane should be slightly in favor of Yasuo. If I think about the short lane, the easy short trades for Yasuo, go in, go out on the minion wave. Even
Yep.
easier than Irelia can do that, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it will probably
It's going to be a
very
highly
close matchup.
mobile lane.
Yeah, oh man. Hate to play against
Yeah,
either of
well.
those champs.
Completely agree. That's going to be fun, and it's going to come down to Sorn is going to need to play around that mid lane. Sometimes we see this Gragas Yasuo picked, and then the Gragas sort of just doesn't play around mid lane, and it's like, well, why did you pick it? You don't really pick Yasuo just for Yasuo. You sort of pick him specifically for Gragas Yasuo. So
Yeah, look at the
Hopefully.
lanes. This is a perfect game for Gragas. He can gank for Renekton, of course Renekton is insane. He has to gank for Yasuo, because Gragas Yasuo is a combination that even pro players can't really do anything against. And then Lucian Yumi will constantly push in bot lane, so there's a little bit of a dive possibility there as well.
yeah, absolutely.
This should be a
I
great
mean-
game for Sorn.
Potentially, he has to play it out right, and I mean, I think we have faith in Sorn for that. He's shown us some pretty strong picks, even if he hasn't been perfect. So hopefully, we do see that going in. Looking over at the side of Cerberus, though, I mean, they also have pretty good lanes here. I'm not ignoring that mid lane matchup because I mean, I think both of us are a little bit unsure of the way that's meant to go, though I do agree with your assessment that it probably goes Yasuo's way. They do potentially have losing lanes, which is dangerous in the VCS. It's dangerous globally, but I think even more so in the VCS. So we're going to have to see how they go.
Year 1 has actually only won one Camille game so far.
Really?
Oh, that's
Wow.
surprising. He has looked great on Camille, but only a 20% win rate on 5 games, so 1 out of 5. Interesting. That's a statistic I
Yeah,
was
okay.
not anticipating. I actually did not look at the win rates, only at the play rate, assuming he probably did great on the Camille, because I just remember him for the 1-1 Camille team fight that was on our highlight plays for the week.
Yeah, I mean, that one Camille play was ridiculously good, and guess that was his only win. I'm also very surprised by that. So, also, not sure how relevant this statistic is to this game, but
It's a little bit
Still,
random, considering he is not playing Camille this game. But it's another AD mid lane melee champ, so I guess maybe you can kind of... no, it's not really relevant. Searching for straws.
Yeah.
here, but,
but going into game here, we do just let's have a look at Summoners. At runes. We do have one of your least favorite decisions. Tier 1 running Conqueror into Irelia.
I think on Yasuo it's actually okay. I have to say, even though you're right, I hate seeing Conqueror into Irelia. I think on Yasuo it's okay. He gets to stack the Conqueror super fast. He doesn't really want to 1v1 the Irelia anyway. He doesn't want to sideline against her, so this is for team fights and for skirmishes. And he's not in danger of really being chased down, as he has a lot of mobility himself. So I actually think Yasuo can go Conqueror. But what I really don't like is the Conqueror on the top lane. Look at the top Conqueror there. Aatrox Conqueror. Absolutely hate Aatrox Conqueror.
I agree. Just go Grasp. I think Grasp is so much better in this.
Both are better.
Or Electrocute. Yep.
Yeah, Conqueror Aatrox is a mystery. I really don't understand what it's supposed to accomplish.
Yeah, I think it's meant to make him lane dominant, but I don't think you can do that against Renekton, right? So definitely an interesting decision. I am curious to see how Evos's substitutes go. Parquet in mid and Zeldris down here in the bottom lane. Oh, Cerberus, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've not. I think we have not seen Zeldris play, and first game on stage on Kalista, that seems to be a little bit of a confidence performance. Picking probably the champ you can win lane hardest with.
But unfortunately,
I still don't like the Kalista in this composition or as a counter into this spot lane, even though it's winning the lane so far.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I do agree with you. I think the Ezreal would have been better. So, looking up at the top lane, we already see that Conqueror might not be working out here as LL is losing in the health race pretty heavily. Coyote doing quite well.
Little turnaround from Coyote to dodge one of the sweet spots.
Yep.
Nicely played to avoid that big knock up and damage. Not like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you praise him. Thorn could be coming up here looking for a dive. Coyote using that Q to potentially push the wave, but they need to go now, and they do. And they get the kill, but Coyote's going to get executed. Never mind, he's alright. That's first blood.
Yeah, very aggressive play. Yeah. Was there enough time for LL to react to the play is the question on my mind.
Not sure.
I think he had
it was very close to the end of it. So.
Yeah, but I think he had time to flash away. Yeah, we'll need to see the play again. But I don't feel like the stun was instant. I think Renekton still had to make like a little step towards him to get the stun to connect. So a little bit of time for LL to react. Maybe he thought he was dead anyway, but should have at least gone for a counter kill there.
Yeah, he definitely should have. But unfortunately for him, he gets nothing out of it. But he actually has come back to lane with full health, obviously, because he died. And has gotten a little bit of a CS lead out of it. So let's just have a look at this, see if he has a chance to react. It was a pretty instant flash.
Yeah, it was pretty instant. I think he could have reacted to the E animation, because once you see the E through the mini wave, you probably know what's coming. But yeah, that would have been a horrible flash if Coyote had just backed off. So fair enough. I think he did everything right in that moment. Nothing really to blame him for.
Yep, just an unfortunate situation. Overall, looking at the mid lane, it's pretty even at the moment. Pretty much dead even, in fact. So we will have to see if we can have Thorn come and actually play around his Yasuo at some point. Hopefully he does. As we said in Champ Select, one of the big falling down of some of these VCS Gragas Yasuos is the Gragas not playing around that mid lane.
Yep.
Have to see what that happens. We also need to see what Pot is going to do. So far, has not had an impact on the game. Has just been farming.
The Sylas performances so far have been very hit or miss. We have some games where Sylas gets an early double kill and runs away with the game. And other games where he gets pushed off all his buffs and does nothing all game. This Sylas, a little bit more even, just farms out the jungle so far and probably looks for his first gank in the next few minutes. It's approaching the top lane.
Yeah, and he should be able to get into the bushes here. And Coyote taking a lot of damage as well. Could actually force him back, and it does. So that's actually a little bit of wasted time here for Pot. Unless he's going to wait around for the TP.
Yeah, and meanwhile, mid lane gank gives DR1 an even bigger advantage. Yuumi even roamed up. Very unusual to see Yuumi go away from her ADC. One of the supports that really almost
Never mind, sorry, just up in the top lane, Coyote is getting dove here, but he manages to get the kill on the jungler. Can't quite get the second, thank God. LL does pick up the kill, but overall, 1-for-1's not actually great in that situation.
But Coyote has fallen behind in terms of CS quite significantly and will lose another plating. So this Aatrox is working out quite good for LL, and overall, over the 2 games, we have to say LL looking like the stronger top laner, winning in matchups he's not supposed to win, and finding the opportunities for good plays as well. But in the meantime, Evo secures the first dragon of the game. Another betrayal Drake. We get more mountain drakes today.
Yeah, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Just a reminder that should you donate to the streamer, 50% of that will go to the Baron Protection Fund. Try and petition Riot to remove the mountain drake from the game. Because it's a little bit unfair. He's having a really bad time. The VCS seems to get a lot of mountain drakes, and EVOS has started us off by picking up that first one, as you said. But also, we now have a level 6 Gragas and a level 7 Yasuo. So
they should look for skirmishes in the jungle to look back at what happened so far in the game. We have 2 kills in the top lane going over to EVOS, 1 kill in the top lane for Cerberus, and everything else has been very quiet. Bot lane is absolutely even, mid lane is even. Jungle is a little bit in favor of Sorn due to the early kill in the top lane. What are we expecting from the next few minutes?
I'm not sure. I think it depends what Sorn is going to do here. I think the onus is on them to try and... I mean, I don't think the onus is on anyone to really make a play while there's no objective up. They don't really need to go for anything, at least until Rift Herald is spawned. But I would like to see them try and go for something in this mid lane. I think... I sound like a broken record, harping on a little bit, but it's really important. It's why you pick these champions.
Yeah, we definitely need to see a Gragas kill, not a Gragas kill, a Yasuo kill in this game. We have seen 2 games of Gragas Yasuo in recent memory in the series between DBL and GAM, and both games actually lost for the...
Well, this could be it. The Yasuo ult is used. Here he goes. Sorn. Bit of the tennis onto the belly, and bang, down goes Parquet. Not exactly how you want that to play out.
Yeah, but fair enough.
But
it's a kill.
It's a kill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very clean execution from Dia, especially. He landed everything himself, and Gragas only came in for a little bit of extra damage. Unfortunate, the kill went to Dia, not to Dia, to Sorn. So he now has to pay Dia back with another gank and probably another kill.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, not too bad. As ults are being burned up here in the top lane, Coyote's definitely not going to win this. I'm not sure you want to keep fighting this, buddy. Oh, actually, I might be telling a lie. Yeah, I definitely am. I didn't spot the Executioner's calling. Wow, both of them are so ridiculously low. My God. I think Coyote could have gotten the auto attack there.
Yep. I think he thought he had the damage.
Like he auto-cancelled.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not ideal.
Yeah, but we still see him coming out on top in the long trades, which is a little bit surprising considering there's a Conqueror on the Aatrox and press the attack on the Crocodile. So usually would... Dia, please. Okay, Dia is fine. You would say Coyote is probably winning the short trades and the long trades, but Coyote won the long trade and lost in the short trade. So
yeah, I think part of that is just because of the Executioner's calling. Yeah. Aatrox is sort of relying on the healing from his ult in those super long trades, and obviously the Conqueror is healing. So it's pretty nice. And oh, Gragas Yasuo, hello. RodOP goes into the stopwatch here. Dia's actually in a lot of trouble. It's a 1-for-1 support for mid laner though. That's not worth it in the end. Ooh. Oh, but look at that turn! My God, no way. I think there is a way, mate, because you're showing us it. and he picks up 2 kills. This should be the Rift Herald. Never mind, they're just going to keep going. The Yuumi ult will lock LL up. He doesn't have ult. He used it before. Down he goes. That's a 3rd for No Way. Pot is a little bit stranded here. He's trying to do his best mission impossible. Get out of there.
Zorn is
And I think he might actually
finally
make
back
it
on
out.
form. Man, that
Zorn
was
is
such a great Gragas performance. Triple stun
Absolutely.
to turn. Ooh, almost finding the other player there.
Yeah.
Triple stun to turn around the team fight, and his ult was already nicely placed. DR1 only ulting one member is probably not the right decision there.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. They just went for the one shot but didn't have the damage.
And they
and then
had the
the-
damage, but the stopwatch was very great for
Yeah.
the Lux there.
Yeah, they didn't have the damage for the one shot, unfortunately. Which they needed. But this was so well played out of Zorn, and No Way just benefiting from his jungler's kills. Jungler's skills, I should say.
Yeah, No Way getting all the kills here. 3 kills over the Delusion. He had a great performance in game 1, and once again off to a very good start. 3-0 now after this play. 3-0 also for Zorn, who has dominated the game so far.
Yep. Absolutely. That is going to be a second Mountain Drake picked up here as well.
And look at what's spawning next.
Oh my, a cloud, yep. That's pretty
That's a
strong.
cloud. Oh. It said mountain before, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I thought we
okay.
would get 3 Mountain Drakes into Baron, which would be Baron can spawn and instantly die.
Yeah, Baron may as well just drop his buff when he spawns.
Yeah, it's like
Just
"Nope,
have a day.
I don't want this. Get me out.
Right, please. Get me out.
Is Baron actually in TFT?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
can.
He is?
Yeah. No, wait, no, he's not. Rift Herald is.
Yeah,
Baron.
Rift Herald is, and then Elder Dragon is the last thing I
Dragon.
ever saw.
Yeah, it's Rift Herald and Elder Dragon are the 2 super late ones. Baron's not in it.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, poor guy. And then, DR1 just gets caught by that flawless duet. That ult, though, from the Irelia was really, really bad. Parquet might go down here. No, Justified. No, never mind. I tell a lie. This is going to be a double kill. Make it a triple kill. Hello, Yasuo. He's here to play.
Yeah, and this game might be more of what we expected coming into the series. Already looking at 4k gold lead for EVOS. Triple kill now for Yasuo as well, finally arriving in the game. Man, I like Diaz Yasuo. I think his, especially his Qs have been very good. His windfall there was a little bit off, but in the end, it worked out for him.
That's alright. Yeah, he's been super clean so far. The using Zorn's ult as well. Once again, Zorn is having an absolute cracker of a game, which we like to see. And
Yeah, he was our
overall,
front runner for MVP in the first week, and then dropped off a cliff. Did not get a single MVP in the 3rd week. He actually had an opportunity to ult there, but it was better for him not to ult there because he got the double ult opportunity with Zorn coming by, dropping his ult there, and yeah, LL. Very sad Aatrox. Feeding the 9.14 Aatrox.
nothing he could do there. So, in the end, it is that Yasuo acceleration that we talk about finally arrived. He has the static shiv. Interesting that he's gone for that over the Phantom Dancer. It is a little bit of a toss-up which one of those Yasuos like to go.
Yeah, more burst, more wave clear.
But just a little bit less of defensive capabilities. But when you're this far ahead, who needs to defend, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
right.
sense.
I actually like the Shiv X, especially against someone who's gone for Ninja Tabai, like Parkes, because you get
Yeah, I
extra
agree.
magic damage. Crit magic damage can be quite a little bit. So, yeah, look at this, 175 crit magic damage on the creeps, so that's about 100, 120 on the enemy laner, which is quite significant.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the right decision here. It just, has its ups and downs. As Shelley is summoned up here, trying to push in on the mid lane inner.
That was
See
a
that
lot of
Yasuo wave
damage.
coming clutch. Yep. And this
Every
should
time
be-
I see Yasuo, I remember Odyssey, because that was the only time in League of Legends I ever played Yasuo.
I actually
that
didn't
was
play
a fun
during.
time.
I never played that event. I wasn't playing the game at the time. It's a shame. I've heard it was a good time.
Yeah, you could see Yasuo, the tornado from Yasuo. You had 10 of those or something like that, and they went in all directions and back to you, and they'll triple damage or something. It was...
Wow, that's insane. But also insane is down in the bot lane as LL just straight 1v1's Coyote. Not the best look out of this Renekton, but...
Coyote is still not really hitting the mark. His team is running away with the game, and he's still losing the top lane 1v1 on even item spikes. Even should actually be ahead in terms of items, if you look straight at the comparison.
He didn't have Black Cleaver in that fight, though.
Oh, okay, that's important.
He bought it when he died. He only had the components. He was actually pretty considerably behind.
But he had Ninja Tebe and heal reduction, so that's still...
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, also, I don't think he had to take the fight. So it's really on him there to know his breakpoints a little bit better, because it seems like he is going for brawls with LL and not necessarily coming out on top, and that's sort of on him. Maybe being a little bit inexperienced, playing a non-supportive top laner.
And I think LL has definitely been the better top lane in this series. Doesn't really do a whole lot for him, because the rest of his team has been a little bit, not too great. To be kind to them.
Yeah, it's been a rough one for Cerberus. It's been rough. It's been a rough split for Cerberus. Let's be totally honest. But yeah, LL a little bit of a bright spark here. He's played fairly well, but with the 6k gold lead, sorry, that EVOS has amassed here, as well as a 3-0 Lucian, a 3-1 Yasuo, it's going to be very difficult to come back.
And by the way, this is the previous team of Zorn. Zorn was the star player for Cerberus in the spring split. He was my favorite player on that team, and Cerberus was a 5th place team.
Ooh, LL.
That was super unnecessary.
That was bad.
So Zorn finally playing against this old team. It took a while, because this is the last round-robin game, so they have not faced off so far. And so far Zorn is absolutely showing them what they are missing, with him not in the team anymore. Sad times for Cerberus.
Absolutely it is. He is looking like a fantastic jungler this game. We talked about how he's had his peaks and troughs this split already, but this game definitely back to a peak. Has had some very, very good Gragas plays, and that will be the inner top lane turret secured here for EVOS as they continue to choke their way into the win and into the series win. Hopefully, we don't end up taking quite as long as we have in some other Cerberus games to get a victor.
Shouldn't.
That would be very disappointing from EVOS if it took that long. It should just be a play around Baron, and then that probably wins them the game.
Yeah, should be relatively easy to close out the game here for EVOS. Look at the next dragon, though. That's way more important and interesting than the rest of the game. We finally get to see
a game without oceans. Wow.
Yeah, that's insane. Last Infernal was way back. I don't actually remember the game. We last saw an Infernal Dragon. Many Drakes have gone by.
I would genuinely be interested if we went back and figured out when the last game without a Mountain Drake was, because I genuinely don't think there was one.
No, I can't remember.
We had so many.
Maybe a game where dragons were not killed at all, not prioritized at all, and only 1 or 2 dragons went down. Maybe something like the 23-minute blowout game. Which team was that with? I think first series, QG against Loki?
QG against... Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, there was that really short game and only 1 or 2 dragons were taken, so maybe in that one, but using my recency bias and confirmation bias, I'm going to go ahead and say we've had a dragon Mountain Drake every single game.
Yeah. At least it feels that way. And with a lot of games going to 2 or 3 Mountain Drakes, I think on average that's fair.
Yeah. But we are going to have to see how they use this.
Anyway, that's not how average works, but whatever.
No, not at all. It's alright, you made me not look silly, so I'll take it. But Baron has spawned here. I think after a reset, EVOS should start playing around it, go back, get some control wards, set your vision up, and close this out.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't really see Cerberus doing anything too significant in this game. We have a Kalista from behind. That's
Have fun.
yeah.
An entire item.
Exactly.
Well,
What
your
is she supposed
like
to do?
Kalista is so far behind.
And also now 100% crit on Yasuo. He is almost 3k gold ahead of the enemy mid laner. This is not a great look. Only LL can really hold his head high. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, LL has played fine. I wouldn't say it's been a particularly good game, but it hasn't been a terrible game. He's just been super let down by his team. And I suppose that's the story of Cerberus, isn't it? Just being a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're going to have a couple of chances. They could try and take something around Baron, maybe get a steal or a lucky fight. But it's very, very unlikely that they manage to get up on top here.
What is this Yuumi build?
Whoa.
Wait, what?
That is a Luden's Echo Yuumi.
That is a solo queue Yuumi.
This is I wanted to play mid.
Wait, I'm Yuumi, the best champ for Athene's Unholy Grail, is not going Athene's. And meanwhile, Ronopi on Lux goes Athene's. So, yeah, VCS once again coming in with the best item builds.
This is insane.
Ludens.
Yep. That sure is something.
If you think about Yuumi, you obviously know what my favorite Yuumi lane is, right?
I do. The spin to win with a cat lane.
Yuumi Garen. And today we get to see the new Fnatic lineup. If you followed Reddit, or if you're visiting Reddit frequently and like to watch the LEC as well, you will probably picked up. But yeah, Fnatic has subbed out their ADC, Reckless, and now their mid laner will play in the bot lane. And they are famous in solo queue, at least, for Yuumi Garen. So
I think they might pull it out. I think it'll be really funny. I would not be surprised. It'd be great.
I hope they'll do that today or tomorrow. I would be so happy.
Yeah, I mean, Garen is the only champion not to feature in a champion select this season, I should say.
That is really
He's the only
surprising.
champion in it. Yeah, there was a stat. Someone.
Yeah, I read that one as well, but it's so.
Yeah, it was the G2 account. Someone tweeted it at G2 saying they missed something. Ooh, LL just bullying Coyote a bit here. There's really nothing he can do. The Sterex does proc. It's a nice big shield. LL probably can't chase through to kill it, but yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. As Baron is started up here, Rono P just gets absolutely destroyed by the culling. No way, picks up another one. And then they can just go back, restart Baron here. This will go down nice and fast. And despite LL's heroics, not sure it's going to matter. As Thorn goes over, gets the knock up. Pot just survives to go into the stopwatch. Zeldris is alive as well. Popsat hunting for it to try and recover. How is no one dead?
Yeah, Parky and the DR1, very unfortunately for EVOS players, swap places. Oh, look at the Yuumi damage!
That's absurd! She's just chunking!
That is 400!
That's ridiculous. And they come back for the third try at Baron here.
Yeah, they still have double mountain, so this should be easy.
They should be able to pick it up.
Back alive.
Yep, not for much longer, I feel. He is getting a croc and his head is gone. Coyote pops that Sterex to get a big old shield. Silas is dead in the pit. Baron secured. LL should be going down momentarily, maybe? Nope. Looks like he isn't going to go down. He's actually going to get a kill. Look at that healing. That is disgusting.
Yeah, LL is absolutely toying with Coyote and has his number in this series, but it will not matter in the end. I think after this series, EVOS will probably reevaluate if they want to field Coyote tomorrow in the very important game against F2B.
Yeah, I feel like they probably should. I don't think he's been particularly impressive. He's been taken off that.
Very back for his morale to go down to Rika.
Yeah, God, that would break most men. I feel losing to Rika on anything except Poppy.
To be
this
fair,
is such a
today was great.
Yeah, he played super well today. That Rumble game was awesome. Coyote played well here.
Yeah, Biob's play was also very good there. Popping out for the shield, going back into Coyote to give him the extra 400-500 shield, making him a 30. Then Coyote overextending into 3 Qs from the Aatrox. Please don't do that at home. That's not a good.
It's a very good way to get yourself hurt. But now the push is coming in. They're going to try and take this bot lane down. That Yasuo wave clear coming in clutch, as we did mention. LL just doesn't want Coyote to have fun. Yeah, LL is just saying, you know what, Coyote, you're going to win, but you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, you gonna cry on stage, even though you win.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be that kid in the playground that took your lunch money and bought himself a chocolate milk. Because he is absolutely destroying this Renekton. And so it looks like Coyote wants to get his revenge here. Thorn coming down to help out. And it should be the push on the top lane being set. And they did get that bot lane inhibitor while we were focused on the top laners. So this is very much the death march here. Cerberus should be going down 2-0 to EVOS momentarily.
Yeah, not a big surprise. After 3 upsets in a row, we finally are back in line with our results here. EVOS not looking too great, but in the end, the second game was way better than the first one.
Yeah, they looked really good this game, I think. Most of their players looked very clean.
Yeah, everything but top lane looked good for them. I liked bot lane's performance in both games. I think Dia was way better in this game, and Sorn especially stepped up big. Coyote still does not really show us why he's the new top laner now.
Absolutely not. And this is the last-ditch fight here from Cerberus. They will manage to take down Dia. He only gets 1 kill before he goes down, but it doesn't matter because the Nexus will be claimed here. EVOS finally gives us a favourite that wins. They take that one 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0, and now sitting at 8 wins and 9 losses, so almost even in terms of game victories. On 3 and 4 in terms of series score, so not too far behind the playoff teams. Still very tall order to break into those 4 top teams. Loki, DBL, and Flash sitting at 5 and 2, so 2 series ahead of EVOS, and then GAM and QG or QTV Gaming at 4 and 3. Next game for EVOS, as we already said, is already tomorrow against F2B, Rising F2B after beating DBL.
Yeah, that's a very big performance out of them. So
who's the
we're gonna
favorite
have to see
tomorrow?
Probably still EVOS, but I think it's, a 55-45.
Yeah, should be pretty close. Both teams coming off a 2-0 today. I think overall FTB probably looked more convincing and had the stronger enemy. So just judging of a week 4 performance, you'd favor FTB, but overall they are still sitting at 1 and 6. So yeah, you probably have to give it over to the 3 and 4 team. First game of the second round robin. Second round robin starting tomorrow, so we could also see a few roster swaps.
Yeah, absolutely. Very interesting, the changes that came in. I don't think it looked much better overall once the swaps came in. So
yeah, I think the mid-season swaps, I'm not too sure if they are the substitution that's picked up, especially from Flash, I think, with Stark, are available from tomorrow onward or from week 5 onward, because round robin technically is over now, the first round robin, so they should be eligible to play, and that's especially for Cerberus, with their new jungler picked up, Kais coming over to Cerberus, if I remember that one correctly, and then Stark, the new top laner for Flash. I think those are the two biggest roster swaps in the mid of the summer split.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting going forward what the player changes do to each team. Hopefully, for teams like Cerberus, it is a improvement, as despite the fact that they probably aren't going to challenge for playoffs, I think it's pretty much impossible. We do still want to see them doing better. Overall.
They are looking to avoid relegation, and even that looks like a pretty tall order right now. 2 teams sitting at 1 and 6, and 2 teams are getting having to play promotion or relegation series, so you will need to get 6th to avoid that one. And 6th right now is EVOS, and they are sitting on 3 series wins, so not too easy for Cerberus or FTW to get there.
No, not at all. But who knows? They may well surprise us in the back half of the split. So, I mean, we've got to keep our eyes on the VCS. It's still a region where a lot of things are in flux, I think.
Absolutely.
Yep.
MVP, I think, for this game is probably a relatively easy discussion. Who would you like to give it to?
I'm thinking Sorn.
Yeah, same for me. Sorn finally picking back up, gets his first MVP after his week 1 and 2 success, so now still leading the boards for us here with his 5th MVP. We have many people now sitting at 4. Slater has 4, Hero has 4, Artifact, Heejin. Yeah, those are the 4-time MVP players. Sorn now solely in first position with 5 MVPs secured.
Yep.
And finally picking back up, very important for EVOS, because they need Sorn to perform. If Sorn is not on form, they have no chance.
Absolutely true. Very, very good observation there. Sorn's form sort of is the rise and the fall of his team. So hopefully we keep seeing him playing hot.
Yeah, but I think that will probably be it for us today. We saw 2 interesting series. The first one definitely more of a banger with a big upset coming in. DBL falling down to FTW was a big surprise. Second one a little bit more slow, especially game 1 wasn't the most interesting game, to be completely honest. Second one was very early decided, so Cerberus still looking like the worst team in the league. And FTW improved a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, FTV certainly improved a huge amount. So have to see how things shape up in the next week or so for those teams. But I think this should be the end for us tonight. It was a good night, though, I think.
Yeah, 2-2-0 series, so not too long in terms of pure casting work. But we'll be back tomorrow, so there's still a lot to do for this week. FTV against EVOS will be the first series. 2 teams that played today, 2 teams that won today, and then DBL against QG. 2 very different trajectories. QG coming off a 2-0 against Loki, very surprising on Thursday, absolutely smashing Loki to the ground and going up 4-3, actually contesting playoffs, while DBL looked very weak today, getting 2-0 by FTV of all teams. So those should be 2 more close series compared to today, and maybe Sorn getting the MVP, very obvious.
Yep, very, very obvious there. But yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow for more games, as always. Is there anything else we need to do?
And one shout out again for to the YouTube. I'll upload the VODs. If you missed any games, they will be available on the YouTube channel. You can find the link at this Twitch channel's description. So go head over there if you want to watch the VODs. And see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us.